Yeah, that's me. I'm Corey. Is that our new intro?
And here we are.
You're just going to point at me across the table? I'm Corey.
When are we going to switch to... welcome to the new studio, by the way. When are we going to switch to camera? You're not on film today.
Welcome to the Cheshire cast, everybody. I am Corey.
And I am Trisha.
And we are co-hosts. Form of co-hosts.
We can just be hosts, you know.
I was there for that reference.
You okay?
Yeah, I was trying to make
You need antibiotics?
Wonder Twins reference.
I know what you were... Of course I do.
You sure?
What will we activate as? Funny people.
Activate as co-host.
Okay.
Activate as... Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, it's new in here. It's TV's gone.
It's evolving.
The couch is gone. This is our first time at the new studio table, and I'm trying to figure out how I'm liking it. How are you liking it?
So far, so good.
So far, so good.
It's different. I had a much more relaxed vibe when my throne was the couch.
Yeah.
This is a little more official.
So do we need
my shoes are still on.
Do I need to give you like a big office chair, like a big cozy?
No.
Is that what's next?
No, I will make do. This is good height.
I don't believe you will. I think that
I'll complain, but I'll make through.
I think that I'm
You
going to
might
leave it in
not.
so you'll complain every episode about the chair, and then one day I'll surprise you with a big, cozy, comfy chair.
My only fear with one of those big cozy chairs is like moving and it being like
and it squeaks.
Yeah. Remember that chair we had that squeak?
Yes.
It's all I heard. It did.
Like, what are you doing over
there? And the guest we had on with that chair was like a hand talker the whole time. I was just like.
Well, he was in a squeaky chair, and then we had one guy who he held the mic, and he would be a hand talker with the mic. So the audio was like. Yeah.
I didn't notice that as much as the squeak. Everybody has their different ear tics.
Editing. Oh, it was.
I can't even imagine.
It's like I was panning it left and right.
Speaking about old guests, we went to a show last night with Ryan Drozd.
Oh, I was like, that's a weird way to introduce her. But we're not at the segue yet.
We're not there yet, right, Corey.
Right. Yes. Old guests, we did what? You're banging on the table. You're making noise.
I need bumpers. I need bumpers.
I need microphone shocks.
They make those like hydraulics.
They do.
Fuzzy dice.
You could put fuzzy fuzzy dice on your mic.
All right. I found this a little.
That's from the Exploding Kittens game.
Okay. My kids love that game, but they're so loud.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The kids?
The kids.
Yeah, the kids are loud.
No, specifically when they play that game. There's a lot of rage quitting and negotiating. And
that game in particular?
Exploding Kittens, yeah.
Okay, because everything my kids do is just loud.
Oh, no.
Yes.
No.
So, yes, last night we went to Boston.
We did.
We went and saw Alan Stone.
It was so much fun.
On behalf of a previous guest, Ryan Drozd. Sound guy extraordinaire, the Bear tour manager. Awesome dude. It was great. It sounded great. The bands were awesome. I had a good time.
We got to see Boston.
We did get to sit in traffic around the TD Garden.
I've never seen Boston at night, I don't think.
No?
Mm-mm. I've only been there during the day, like Faneuil Hall and the aquarium.
Yeah.
It was gorgeous.
It was interesting walking around there after playing Fallout 4 for so long because
they
really rebuilt.
It looks a lot better in person than it did in Fallout 4, I'll tell you that much.
Well, that's true.
Post-apocalyptical Boston does not look the same as real Boston. Doesn't have the same feel.
But it was a little rainy last night.
It was, but that made us get a cool cab.
We got the
cab driver.
the cab driver wanted the pretty woman to sit in the front seat, and he got me
Corey.
instead.
I said the gorgeous one is sitting up front. Corey. Mm-hmm. That's what he gets.
I don't know if he would have let you or Jen out of the cab.
Listen, start with me the second I get in your cab, and game on.
Yeah.
Game on.
No, it's true. It's true. So
that was fun. Thank you, Ryan.
Yeah. There's no way to segue.
There is a way to segue.
I'm struggling. So you go ahead.
Okay,
you got a way?
You could talk about mild temps. It's making me really nostalgic for spring because that means our winter's
it was rainy
almost
last night. It was mild, so it wasn't too bad.
It was great. I was wearing a jean jacket.
So, we're starting to think about spring and summer coming. Mm-hmm. And go ahead.
Finishing up a mild winter, but still winter nonetheless.
Sure.
And,
there was 1 or 2 days.
One of the things in town that's seasonal is our ice cream shop. It is our. It's our.
Our
things
ours
are our.
Are our Sweet Claudes.
Sweet Claudes.
So with us today.
See, that wasn't too hard. We got that.
No, it was good. It was good. With us today is Kelly Ann Pearce and Stephanie Clason.
Yeah, you nailed
You
it.
got it.
Got it.
Current owners.
The current owners of Sweet Claudes. Welcome to the studio. That you're our first guest in our new setup, which actually feels like a real studio. Welcome,
it
guys.
Does. We were a
thank you
little
for having us,
intimidated.
yeah.
Don't be intimidated.
It was so great
Just
to
enjoy
come
your
here.
coasters.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Love it already.
don't be
Yeah.
afraid of that mic. You can get a little closer. That'll help.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. See, now I can hear you better.
Was that right?
Yeah, that's good.
Thank you. I'm
No, we're
still
still
learning.
upgrading our gear, so
Bit by bit. It's an evolution of sorts.
Yes. You guys are like a Cheshire. Is staple the right word?
Sure.
I'll take it.
I mean, people.
I've only been here for 2 years, so.
When I was doing research for the show, I typed in Sweet Claudes and just kind of let Google do its thing. You know how Google works? It like parses all the information. I
I've
know
heard of
you-
that
I
You know,
know.
like an
I've heard of
internet
that.
search engine on the interwebs.
Yeah,
You've heard of it before.
that
Yeah.
thing. I'm sure you've heard it a time or two. So I typed it in, and one of the first things I stumbled on is like TripAdvisor or one of those. I don't know if it was TripAdvisor precisely, but it was road trip something, and Sweet Claudes was mentioned. So I said, "Oh, all right," and it was a list of like this family was in a car, and they specifically came to Cheshire.
You didn't have your shock treatment today, did
Oh,
you?
I'm struggling from last night.
Me too.
I
Good.
struggled.
I'm glad it's not just
we
me.
were up way too late.
We were. It was fun though.
Driving
Worth
home,
it.
yeah.
Worth it. We're old, but it's worth it.
And they specifically stopped in Cheshire only to go to Sweet Claudes.
That's what we like to hear.
And you know, I'll be honest with you. I grew up in the next town over, south, and there was a particular spot there that
You probably don't know.
Oh, I don't think we've heard of any
No.
other ice cream shop.
Yeah.
I don't think.
So the transition for me has been it took me a while to
Just like out of loyalty or familiarity.
you go with
What you know. Okay.
and you know I was having a conversation. I believe I was actually sitting at town hall, and I said something about this place in the next town over, and they said, "You're a Cheshire guy now." I said, "Don't you have to be like generation?" They said, "No, you live in Cheshire. You got to go to Sweet Claudes." I said, "Okay, that's a place where all the kids sit on the wall and."
They go like this, and
People
everybody
wave
honks.
and
I love it.
I love
That's
that
it.
too.
So ever since, that's where I go. Kids go. I don't eat dairy anymore.
Womp.
Womp womp.
That's okay. We
But-
still got you.
Yeah, you do.
See? We'll talk about flavors.
We're gonna definitely talk about.
I have
flavor.
an intro story about Sweet Claudes I want to say too.
Well, that's good because you're the co-host and that's part of your job.
Good.
So
I wasn't asking for permission. I was putting it out there.
It sounded
just
like you were
letting
asking
know.
for permission.
Never,
I'm like,
never,
since
never
when
think I'm asking for
do you ask
permission. You will
me for
always be
permission?
wrong.
Yeah, yeah. So now I'm there. Now, one of the interesting things about Sweet Claudes, and I don't know if you guys know this story or not, but you guys were the launch point for the divide between the Cheshire Community Forum and what is now Cheshire Unplugged.
They were the impetus.
Did you guys? Yes.
No
way.
Please
Great
tell
work.
us about this.
You guys didn't. You weren't aware of
Oh,
this.
yeah.
Yes.
Do you know
is this
of
good
both
news
forums?
or is this bad news?
I'm aware of the Cheshire Forum.
There
Uh-huh.
is a unfiltered, unplugged version that was a deviation
Oh,
from the
no.
forum.
Do they
Yeah.
need an unplugged version?
I mean,
Yes.
I won't join. I've heard things.
Yeah. So because of the kids that sit on the wall and they wave and make people beep horns, there used to be evidently a neighbor who
Oh,
was
yes.
not thrilled with it.
Mm.
One of the people on the forum complained about it, about the neighbor, not
Right.
necessarily you guys, but the
Yes.
neighbor.
The angry neighbor.
And I said, you know, we have to be careful how we discuss the neighbor's condition. I don't know, and I was kind of trying to censor.
You're always trying to pull back. Like, wait, you're insulting somebody. Hold
yeah,
on.
like
you're saying this in a public forum.
I get what you're saying, but I also get that we don't know. And
people forget at the type of thing that people were reading it.
Right.
It gets a little out of hand.
And he got mad at me for it. So he went and started the Unplugged. So
Are you serious?
Okay, so really it was you. It wasn't scheduled. Us there.
Wait, is he coming in on the,
in 2
the
weeks?
19th?
Yeah, they're coming.
He's the one I'm bringing. Okay.
Yeah, he's coming in. So we're going to talk all about that.
I can't. I have so many questions for him.
But that was the springboard for the split between the.
So what is the premise of Unplugged?
Well,
exactly as it sounds.
Unfiltered.
Oh boy, that sounds like
you
trouble.
can just say whatever you want.
And people do. As a matter of fact, one of the reasons why I'm so glad they're coming in so soon is because there was a political entity that just resigned, and part of why they did was stuff that was said on Unplugged specifically.
Yep.
So it's good to have them come on. And you know what? It's so prevalent right now in society. Like how people talk to each other electronically is changing and evolving, and people are getting mean.
Yeah, well, but how can you can't get mean at when you're eating ice cream?
Right? Ice cream is like the equalizer.
I will say that I won't say her name, but that neighbor has been across the street from us for longer than even Sweet Claude's has been there. And she actually moved out and her kids have control of the house now. But she did get a little peeved at us time and again. But we had a long relationship with her. Like when she would get locked out, she would come over. And so, later on.
She got mad at her telephone system. And so she came and used our phone and sat with me for a few hours. Mm-hmm. She was great.
So she had a back and forth. Day. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, catch me on a bad day.
Right.
God knows what's going to happen.
Catch me outside. It's true.
I mean, no.
How about that?
Hey, no one got time for that, Corey.
Right?
It's a lot of pop culture references.
That was.
So you have
Hide
neighbors.
your wives. How'd you go for?
I don't know that one.
Oh, you don't know?
No, I don't know that one.
You got to know that one.
Yeah.
Classic.
It is.
Yeah.
I know most of them. How did I miss that one? My kids usually repeat stuff.
Antoine Jackson.
That one's a little bit older than Cash Me Outside. Hide your kids, hide your wife.
Cash Me Outside is pretty old, so we're going back.
Yeah,
all right.
So that's it. So you don't have to feel bad about that.
Bad Bobby.
I'll have to look it up.
Yeah.
My introductory story with Sweet Claude's was when I first moved here. We never really had like a homemade ice cream place, local or anything like that. And all the places that I used to get ice cream from had them delivered in the gallon thingies. They didn't make them themselves. And I grew up working at Carvel, so I have a little experience with ice cream.
We're doing great with words today.
I know.
Thingy,
I'm drinking a tea. It's hard. We adulted last night, and I'm hurting.
We didn't adult. We were kids.
I fell.
Yeah.
I didn't see a step. You almost did. I won't even feel bad about it because you missed that step prior. You just had enough wherewithal not to fall.
You fell. I almost fell. You straight up fell.
I straight up fell.
You had to go get another beer because you spilled it.
1 out of 3 ain't bad. That's a win.
You still fell.
I spilled 1 out of 3 things. That's a win. Win, right?
And I
66 is a D plus, I think. So
I'll take it.
So go ahead. You never had gallons.
So I went into Sweet Claude's. Everybody said going to Sweet Claude's, and one of the first episodes we did here, I mentioned you guys. Yeah, probably the premiere episode ever. And one of the things I mentioned first of all, your ice cream is phenomenal. I had cookies and cream sundae.
It really is.
With
it's really good.
Bananas and M&Ms and whipped cream and strawberries, and oh my goodness, it was the best. I was so upset that you were so close because I was like, "There's no way I'm not going to be able to have this like once a week." But the ice cream is fantastic. But above that, there was a young woman who handled us like she was our.
She served you.
We suck with words tonight.
She helped us while we were there. She was, I guess, in high school.
She waited on you.
She served us.
Yeah.
She was our server, and she like made conversation with the kids. She asked them about. We were brand new. I don't even think that the school had started yet. We moved in like the week before. The house was finally done like the week before school started, and she was talking to the kids, and she was saying, "Yeah, I'm going into my senior year in high school," and it was really good to see that high schoolers are working in this town.
Every so often, you get a couple that will work.
Nobody in your establishment was on their phone.
Yeah.
Oh. Thank you for saying that.
Everybody who, and we'll continue, it's going to continue to be a struggle, probably getting worse as time goes on. Everybody who we saw or had anything to deal with was nothing but courteous, kind, engaging, and even though they were teenagers, there was not an ounce of angst. And if you go back and listen to the first episode, you'll hear that exact thing about Sweet Claude's.
Thank you for saying that.
The second thing everybody said was, go try this other place. Tried it once. I will never need to go back. Sweet Claude's, hands down, is my favorite, my family's favorite. It's our favorite.
Thank you.
And I love honking for the kids that sit out on that wall.
I do too. I'm in the driveway and I'm honking for them, so don't feel.
they're all trucker honking.
Oh, it's so fun. I think
when
it's
we
very
go
fun.
by with the fire engine or the fire truck, we always get the kids with.
That's the real win right there.
I could see a neighbor maybe being startled by that, but listen.
Nobody gets mad at firefighters. We've established this.
I'll get mad.
They don't.
No.
Nobody does. Except for Trisha.
I'll try.
You would get mad at fire trucks and the Starbucks
firemen, people.
The silver-haired barista at Starbucks.
Thank you for cleaning that up for me. I appreciate it.
I will say, though, because I feel like our neighbors, we have the greatest neighbors in town because we are so busy a lot.
Yeah.
And I will say, I don't remember the last time they did come over and say anything to us.
That's good.
I think a lot of them, and they like to say, oh, guess what? We're your neighbor. We live back there. We're like, well, thank you so much for coming in today.
Sometimes neighbor input helps. It's not all bad. Like if they're saying somebody's hanging out at your dumpster or whatever, like the neighbors watching out for neighbors is a good thing.
Well, the one that we had that lived next to us for quite some time, she liked the fact that we had spotlights, that our kids were always there because she lived alone.
Sure.
So she was like, and she said whenever something went wrong, she felt like she could walk in, talk to myself, Kelly, the previous owner, my father-in-law,
right?
Or
Fred
any of our
actually had a
kids.
spare key for a while to her place.
We had one of her keys.
Oh, no kidding.
So she, she used to lock herself out all the time. So we were very familiar with her. So she towards her later time in that house. So she's since moved out.
But I will say I appreciate our neighbors because I think with all the draw that we bring, I think we're very lucky that they are very understanding.
And you also have a great location for a big journey, right off of 10. Anybody who's living right on 10 has to expect a degree of traffic and busyness, and only going to get more in the future.
So circling back though to working in high school and all that stuff, if I remember right from my notes, because they're covered with my cup right now, this was it your first job?
It was my first job. Yes,
it was your first job.
Yes,
and you stayed there.
That's Kelly's first job.
That's right.
Through law school.
Yes, I did. Well, I wasn't there all the time, but when Fred, who was the founder of Sweet Claude's, Stephanie's father-in-law, he made all the ice cream himself for the entirety.
Wow.
For the first 20 years.
20, yeah.
Yeah. So he when he finally decided he was ready to take a vacation in the middle of summer, which is basically impossible, and he was finally ready to teach someone else how to make the ice cream. So when I was 19 or so, I had been there for maybe 3-4 years. In the summers, I nagged him enough, and he finally taught me how to make the ice cream. And then thereafter, we just kept growing and growing and growing. So it became a little bit too much for him to make it all himself. So I would come back in like once a week, all through law school and in the summers, and I would make ice cream. For him. So I never quite left. I always kind of had one foot in the door. And then I really just kicked the door in and I was like, I'm living here. This is where I'm at now.
Craft ice cream is where it's at.
This is the new life, I guess. Yeah.
And what about you, Stephanie? Did you just I mean, this must be how you met your husband there, working there, and he walked in and that's the whole story I was hoping for.
No,
ice cream brings people together.
No,
if you wanted to ask about the story where she met her husband.
I don't know if we would.
I just kind of want that memorialized forever.
We met in Boston. I'm a Boston girl, born and raised.
Okay.
Met Matt through mutual friends. Had no idea he was from the state of Connecticut. So I agreed on a date, went on a date, and we started dating ever since.
And he would drive up there to see her to Boston from Cheshire for like quite some time.
That's a far ride.
2.5
2
years.
hours.
She's a catch,
we just did that last night.
That's dedication.
Right there. He knew he had something good.
Well,
so.
he was able to drag me down here when we did that thing called marriage.
Yeah,
So I moved down, But I worked still for a Boston company for 6 months. Then I went into advertising for almost 3 years. And when I was pregnant with our first son, my father-in-law was saying, I think I'm really thinking about stepping back soon.
Yep.
Would you ever consider coming to Sweet Claude's? I said, yeah, under one condition, if Kelly and actually will do this with me, because we were going to have a family. And
so how did you guys become friends?
We had to stay in the same place every day for 8 to 9 hours.
Just fought it out.
So you came to the store.
I came to the store.
Well, we both kind of, because I was still studying for the bar at the time that Steph was really getting her
the first 6 months I was with just Fred.
Okay.
And so he was, Kelly would say, I'm going to come. I have to, I want to take the bar. I want to see where this goes.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
well, you go through the whole 3 years. You don't want to just walk out at the end. So I knew I had to.
I have a lawyer as my partner. So I wanted you to finish too. And she, it was you meet Kelly, you want to keep talking to her.
Sure.
So
thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I'll
give you one.
Thank you.
I agree.
So we had a really good chemistry when we first met. And when we started working together, we realized we had new ideas that we both agreed on. And luckily the timing was really right. And Fred was ready to go. So he handed us the keys and we have been running since.
Right. It really was kind of just like a confluence of events that it really worked out in our favor. Because
awesome when life does that for you.
Yes.
Yeah, because that
doesn't always do it.
Not very often.
And you were able to take advantage of it. Because
Yes.
sometimes things happen in that way and it just is 1 month off or 1 year off. This happened where you guys were just like, we can make it work till it's time for it to work.
Yeah. Right.
So you went on this date.
Yes.
Your husband's name is
Matt.
Matt. Okay. And you went on this date with Matt.
Yes.
And then you just knew, and that was it, or is
I
there?
think it was the cowboy boots. If I had to.
Is there
No,
more?
that was-
Is there more?
Socks and Tevas.
Because Kelly has given away that there might be a little bit more to the story.
That was really it. I just want to talk about his outfit. He was really dressed like a Goomba, and she still liked him, I guess, because he's also a charmer.
I don't think it was that I started to like him.
Yeah.
But I did agree to a date.
He was dressed like Brad Paisley.
From the 80s. Lots of light blue, lots of baby blue.
Like some acid wash
Footloose?
jeans.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah.
Wait, was it the 80s?
No, it was 10 years ago, 11 years ago,
It was
12 years ago.
2000.
Well, how old are your
7?
How old are your kids?
I have a
how many.
6-year-old and a 2-year-old.
Okay.
And we've been married for going to be 9 years.
Got it.
Yeah, that's not enough time to have seen him in pastels.
Yeah, that outfit's gone now.
Yeah.
And cowboy boots with
It was, well, like you said last night, you went out in Boston.
Yeah.
You had a little too much to drink.
3 beers.
The night I met him, I may have indulged.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So it was when I woke up.
Wait.
When later on that night when he was.
When you wait, did you say when I woke up?
Well, when she woke up and thought about it the next day, she realized.
A picture of him.
She said, that was the guy I was talking to all night?
After the drugs were off.
Yeah, and then she said, you know what? I'll give him a second
You
chance.
committed to what? What?
Did he
He's a
slip me
very-
a colorblind
he's a very
drug?
nice guy.
Do you
Is
see what
this
he's
Las
wearing?
Vegas?
Where am I?
This is not my beautiful house.
Why do I have ice cream in my hair?
There's water at the bottom of the ocean.
Oh, thank
This is
goodness
the best
my
thing that's
parents
ever happened
aren't
to
in
me.
Cheshire to listen to this later on.
We're everywhere.
I know. Oh my gosh, you're right.
Do-do-do-do.
So yeah,
Do-do-do-do.
he'd be pretty happy to hear this conversation though.
Well, I
That it's
hope he
lasted.
doesn't listen.
If
Yeah.
it all stays in, you
Yeah.
don't know till the final cut. We'll
Well,
see.
no, this is staying in. That was fun.
That was
The
gold
more
right there.
embarrassing it is,
So,
it's staying in.
interesting other tidbit I found.
Uh-oh.
How the store got, how the shop got its name.
Oh, cool.
Oh yes.
Oh, gosh. Did we talk about that before?
I don't know. I want to hear your version.
All right.
So, Fred
Yes.
is your father-in-law,
Yes.
and his wife.
Diane.
You are correct. His wife is Diane.
We've met
How did
before.
you know
So,
that?
yeah, actually, I did know that. Yeah.
Fred and Diane founded it in 1988.
Yes.
And when they were coming up with the name, Fred had a callback or had found a book in his frat house that was called The Murder at Sweet Claude's.
I think that would be a more appropriate title. It was very similar to that, but I don't think it's very kosher
I don't think
to tell you.
yeah.
That
The
wasn't the
original
title?
It was very similar to that.
But there's a picture from the book
That looks like
the house.
So
the red
looks,
house.
Fred,
and that is in the shop still.
yes. So it's not from the book, but it's when Fred went to Yukon.
So I sort of got the story right.
You were very, very close.
Okay.
So he went to Yukon and he had a very close core group of friends, and they lived in a house together, which was essentially a fraternity house.
Okay.
Which is the picture that's in Sweet Claude's.
Gotcha.
So a lot of people look at that picture and say, "Oh, this is Sweet Claude's before you remodeled it," but in fact, it's a building up in Stores that they called Sweet Claude's, and they still to this day call themselves
the Claude's house.
Claude's
when it
house.
started.
Right.
So it was the Claude house.
So then when
Is there a Claude?
there's no
No,
there's
a
no
lot
Claude.
of people come in and say, "I'd like to speak to Claude."
Right.
So I'm like,
Leave a message.
yeah.
One of you guys needs a name tag.
Let me give you.
Yeah, it's
His assistant is Santa Claus.
right.
Here's the phone
Which
number.
one are you sweet? Which one are you Claude?
Yeah.
I'm not the sweet one.
Right.
So,
So I don't know if anyone's sweet.
It's a really silly Pink Floyd reference.
so when he named Sweet Claude's, he actually reached out to his core group of best friends, and they refer to themselves as the Sweet Claude's group still. And they travel together. They whatever we get any like T-shirts or
Oh, that's
hats
cool.
are the first ones. We're doing one of their daughters is having a baby, so at their
Yeah.
baby shower, they obviously need Sweet
Do
Claude's.
they play tag?
They might.
Do you know that story? Do you know the reference that I'm throwing out?
No,
I'm not familiar.
There's a group of men that.
Isn't there a movie like this?
Yeah.
That's
well,
what
it's
it's-
about.
is
It's called tag. It's about
Yes.
this group of men who
Are
have been
best
playing
friends.
the game of tag.
That's right.
Since they were kids.
Yep.
And they're still playing it
And
to
they
this day.
still play it to this day.
Okay.
And now they're in their 70s or whatever.
Right.
There was a
That's
movie.
hardcore.
The movie was quite endearing.
Okay.
And
Decent
then
cast too.
yeah, the cast was cool. And then I went and I read about this group of guys. They apparently have been playing this game of tag since they were 10 years old or something, for like 40 years.
That's commitment.
And
That would be the worst if you like flew somewhere to tag someone and you ended up staying with them for a couple days, and right before you left to
No
leave,
tag backs.
they're like,
That's how
they
it usually
kind of do
ends.
that.
that is
The whole movie is
savage.
actually like that.
Yes, they'll hide and then jump out
I
at
think
work.
one of their
be like,
one of their weddings was ruined because of
Yeah.
a game of tag.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about the movie. It may not have. That might have been a
In
dramatization.
real life,
It's
it was
possible.
yes, it was dramatized, but it's worth seeing.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
they
called
still
tag.
get together. I think they are also in their 70s these days, so they do a little less tag, but they definitely do a
Late
lot of.
60s. And Diane Clason might come after you after that
I
one.
just saw them today, and he said we're 70, so that's what I'm
Nice.
going
So
with.
you get
in
to
June.
a certain
In June.
And
you
Ju-
get to a
he's-
certain point of that year, and you can
Yes.
fast forward.
So they're
Right.
the same age as my parents. My parents are 69 this year.
yeah. So
Well, they'll be 70 this year. It's 2020. So my mom, my mom's gonna be 70.
I don't think you're supposed to
Diane's-
say that like out loud without written permission.
I think my mom's pretty proud of the fact that she's gonna be 70.
I've always been proud of my age too. Good for your mom.
Well, I mean, this is a woman who's had 2 kidney transplants. She's like every day. She's like, "Pfft, I'm alive.
So my grandmother said it's better than the
wow,
alternative.
you really need a video now. Yeah, now I see why you want the video here.
Yeah.
There's a lot of missed gestures.
I try to explain them, but after I'm
Yeah. People. Yeah.
I'm like, he just made air quotes.
I
I'm like the commentator.
you don't have to tell me what I just did. Oh,
He's
you didn't
making-
see it because the screen's.
Oh, you're missing half of it. I got it.
They saw it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm probably better off.
So are your kids are? You don't have any kids, right?
correct. Thankfully,
I was
Please.
I was
I have a
referencing
puppy.
Kelly.
How about that?
Your puppy's big
She's one.
fan of ice cream.
Oh, she's a
Yes.
huge fan of ice cream.
Do you have like a dog friendly?
You know what? We were just talking about that today.
They
That's
have
one of
them.
the things I'm going to break out this year. I just need to do a little more research because
I'm
Things
sure
are
it's
coming out.
specific.
you want to make sure.
Yes.
Like we just had someone come
someone
in
just came in
today.
and said, is there xylitol?
Xylitol.
Xylitol.
It's like a preservative.
And it's a preservative that just, a
It's bad
study
for-
just came out is terrible for dogs. It's like a sweetener that's in a lot of foods.
Gum.
Yeah.
Right.
And they were saying it can be detrimental to a
It's
dog's
like a
health.
reduced
Except
calories.
for my dog. My
Right.
dog's
He's a
Everything
tank.
and anything.
He made it through a bout recently.
he so man, try to make this a short story. So you know the green poison that you would lay out for rodents?
Yes.
Well, first of all, never use that because I found out that it goes right up the food chain and it will kill like
it kills
owls
like
and
everything
stuff.
up. Yeah.
And if you didn't notice, owls are like my favorite thing.
I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah,
that one has been staring at me the whole
I'm
time.
I'm sorry.
That
I'm
one,
gonna apologize.
you realize in this room there's probably 30 of them.
Try not to look, because after you make eye contact with
Because
them,
as soon as you figure it
doesn't
out,
leave you.
you're gonna see that there's a lot of them.
I really particularly like the framed picture of the owl.
So
Where?
Is that right?
he's
Right up
sitting
there?
in a cactus.
Like there's a lot of for all of you listeners back at home. There's like several statues of owls, but
Probably
and
about
there's
25.
then there's a whole mantle of framed family pictures. But right in the back, there's a framed picture of an owl.
yeah, there's 30.
That's his uncle.
There's 34 owls in this room.
Oh gosh!
So yeah, I have like
So rat poison.
rat
Don't
poison.
use it. It will
I
mess
left
with
it
the
on the floor.
raptors.
The dog got into it.
The
and
whole
he
package.
He ate the package of rat poison.
Oh my gosh!
So I'm going.
And they found it. Like he ate it.
Yeah. So I call poison control.
right.
And we're trying to put the timeline together. So I figure he had eaten this poison 24 hours prior to when I found it. So,
Oh my gosh!
so they're like, basically,
Sorry, sir.
Your dog is going to.
yeah, your
Here's
dog,
some things you can expect.
your dog's gonna die or have all kinds of
Neurological
stuff.
Oh my
so
gosh.
just get ready because it's gonna happen like any minute.
Prepare your kids. Just be ready, which is a responsible thing
Yeah.
to say.
Prepare your kids.
I'm exaggerating to clarify. It was a lot more polite than that.
okay.
I will give poison control and my vet a ton of credit because they were very like, this is what you can expect and da. You should talk to the kids.
They
So I
didn't,
had-
It's not their
candy
first
coat. They didn't
rodeo.
sugarcoat it. Why? It's
Yeah.
not good for them to do
So
that.
I had to sit and talk to the kids and be like, the Murphy's gonna die,
This is a possibility.
The
The
dog-
dog,
Murphy, that I
the
just
dog
saw
that just
running.
greeted
Okay.
us when we came
the
in.
dog-
Yeah.
He's
so,
a tank. It's a tank.
So my wife and I for like 3 days were like staring at him,
and
just
he's
like
staring
waiting
back.
for him to
He's like,
die.
He's like, these humans won't leave me alone.
he's
They're
like-
so creepy.
Did you at least like give him some steak or something in the meantime? You were like, you know what?
He
You're
was-
going out on a bang.
He wasn't eating. He was vomiting a
yeah,
lot.
he was.
Oh, okay. So you did see things happen to him.
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
His
But nothing.
green poops, the whole thing.
But he was like up and like vomiting, and then like
And then I'd be
fine,
like,
and then,
"Meh." And like 3 days go by, and I called the vet. I'm like, so he's like normal. She's like, you sure? I said, yeah, he's pretty like nothing. She's like, well, he should, based on the amount, and he should be. I'm like, I don't know.
it is what it is.
How
It's
long
a small
ago was
little
this?
miracle.
A year?
6 months.
You
A
seemed
year?
all right to me.
Okay.
Yeah. It wasn't like 2 weeks ago.
Was it expired rat poison?
no.
Did they? Oh, because you're saying because
And not
I
only
had
it was
just
the whole
bought it
box.
because I was having an issue with some rodents that
Oh,
I wanted
my.
to.
like spring
Yeah.
rodents or something.
And my buddy told me, like, he's like, why on earth would you use that? I'm like, what do you mean? I'm just killing mice and squirrels. Never even thought.
food chain.
dog.
Right. Yeah.
And he's like, dude, owls. And I went, what do you mean owls? He's like, who do you think's gonna eat the mice
right.
and the squirrels? I went, oh my God. And he goes, yeah. And I like,
Well,
like, I was like,
Forget about
Murphy
my
had
dog. We need to save the owls.
Murphy,
I'm-
that's a
you mean I'm
carrier issue.
responsible? Like I might have killed an owl? He's like, yeah. Oh,
Or a
Oh,
falcon,
man.
or a hawk.
went to church. I'm like, it's been 40 years since my last confession, but I might have killed a couple owls.
And if your dog could get
That's
to
it.
it, that meant your kids could get to it too, Corey Nash.
I-
You learned a
it
bunch
was-
of lessons.
I did, and it was
Your
still in the
17-year-old daughter who babysits other children.
Yeah, she's gonna
Watch
be like,
out for her.
Rat poison. Let me eat this. This looks like
I'm gonna
candy.
make
Is this
some
Pez?
chocolate.
I mean, yeah. I'm like, if I came home and found my 17-year-old eating rat poison, I'd be like, yeah, you know what?
So that's some Darwin stuff.
Whatever's
right there.
coming, you
You
deserve it at this point. And she might go, yeah, you're right. Candy.
I don't know, Corey.
I don't either.
Directions.
So the dog was fine.
Fine.
He was, he is. and
ridiculous.
he's adorable. And
The wrappers that come out of that dog's butt,
Okay, he'll eat it whole.
like, I mean, I've seen tinfoil. Like, I'm like,
he's a tank.
what?
They are made to like eat when they're hungry. He eats though all the time. Just even when he's not hungry, he just loves whatever he could find.
Dog eats fruit.
What?
What?
avocados.
anything
I don't
you
know
can
why I'm
reach.
acting surprised after the rat poison
If
story.
I leave it
guess.
if
Well,
we
the
leave
rat
an
poison is
avocado
flavored like peanut butter.
or a
So the
Why do
rats
you
will
know
eat
that?
it.
banana,
Yeah.
They do that so the rats eat it.
With the
Okay.
peel
he'll
on
just
it?
he'll peel it somehow. Like I'll find the peeled.
You need to set up some cameras in here.
You know what? If I set up a camera, then he won't do it.
He'll know
I'll just
Bring it, like,
tune
next
in
to the camera.
and he'll be like staring at the camera,
like this.
Do the camera.
and then I'll turn the camera off, and then he'll just eat.
That'll be it. Yeah. Well, they're mysterious creatures, but we love them.
I have a little guy. He can't get to stuff.
I got one of those automatic food dispensers from Murphy.
No.
That
Does he use it?
couldn't figure it out.
Oh, Jesus.
He's not like a thinker.
But
He's
can
more
he
like
figure
a
out how
lover.
to get on the counter, pull down the fruit basket,
And peel a banana?
and peel a banana?
Yes.
But can he figure out the button that distributes the fruit or the
Poor
food?
Murphy.
No. Like I'm showing him, I'm like hitting the button, the food's coming out, and he's like, "Oh, food!"
Get that guy to press that button again. Do it.
But can he go out into the garage, open a bag, open a box, eat all the rat poison, come back,
Spit out
Yes.
the wrappers.
But can he hit a button? No.
You know that?
You know what? That's why dogs aren't in charge of the world, though.
Imagine if they were. It'd be such a
We'd be
much better
so
place.
happy. Yeah, we'd be
more
so
peaceful.
There'd be so many more parks
We'll have tail wagging.
Are you sure?
and cookies.
I think there may be like an underground, you know what I mean?
That's what the
subliminal
deep
thing.
state is?
Yeah, the
It's
deep
really
state is actually
labs.
dogs. Yeah.
It's a poker game
Sorry,
with all the
Hillary,
dogs.
but it's actually the
I'm gonna.
dogs.
So the site where Sweet Claude's is used to be a toy store.
Among other things,
A
yes.
dentist office, toy store,
A
House.
dentist
House.
office to
Yeah,
an
it was a
ice cream
house.
parlor.
But
Love it.
it was Galt's, right?
Yes, it
That-
was Galt's
and
Toy
it's and
Company.
is it part of the whole?
So the whole segment, you can tell the red painted buildings in that section are
Yep.
owned by Bavano's Industries,
Yep.
which used to have a storefront in one of the buildings. But they recently, they do more shows now. So they have moved their manufacturing to the back building. And then we have several other neighbors that are down in the L-shaped building. Maria, who runs the red,
red
door.
door.
And
Was Posh Pear back there?
She left
She just moved
recently.
out.
That's
but-
where she
The
was.
locksmith is back there.
And he also
left.
just moved.
He's somewhere. He's now on East Johnson, I believe.
Yeah,
Huh.
that's our friend George. So if you get
Okay.
stuck,
He's excellent.
give him a call.
I need to have a locksmith come and match
Oh,
my
he's the
keys.
best.
He really
'Cause
is.
All my
You should have
front
him
door-
on here because he would make you laugh.
I
He-
would love to have him.
Locksmith
amazing.
stories. It's one of your.
It's one of my favorite
Favorite
things. There's a
things.
book that one of my favorite books is called Keys to the City, and it's about a New York City locksmith.
And his
And
stories.
each chapter is just a different story about like
Shenanigans.
yeah,
Oh, that
And
I
it
bet you
sounds fun.
George
great.
has.
Oh, George has
ton
some
of
stories. Yeah.
yeah. I'd love to have him. And,
He's awesome.
So, do you guys own the building?
We do not.
Okay.
So so that whole section is owned by Bavano's Industries.
Okay.
So they've owned the building and that plot of land right there for over 50 years at least. First it was Jim's father, and now Jim. So he's working on some stuff. But yeah, unfortunately, we don't own the building ourselves because we would probably do things a little bit differently.
Yeah.
But we're happy to be where we are. I think the location is really great.
Great spot.
Yeah.
I dig how you guys handled the tree out front.
Yes, that was unfortunate because it was hollowed out by some
Critters?
insects. Yeah, so we had to cut it down because it was like a danger.
Yes.
So probably more than 5 years ago, maybe 10 years ago now.
No,
Eh.
because we made the decision to turn it into the ice cream cones.
Oh, so maybe
Because
it was
he-
like 6 years
Jason
ago.
said it's like 5 years ago because he said I have to cut it down, and we were like, can you just leave that?
Yeah, can you
stump?"
leave a huge stump? Yeah. And then Steph met someone at a trade show who was a wood carver, and she had him come down. Actually, I think there's a date in the stump. So if you
Yeah.
Might
want to
definitely put it
fact
on
check
there, yeah.
us, you could just swing by.
I'm pretty sure it was 2015.
Right.
I'm almost positive.
So, yeah, the cones there, they're pretty fun.
So those cones out in front are remnants of a tall of a big tree.
They were of a
That's
tree.
very cool.
That
Yeah, that's
everyone
right, 'cause
everyone
you-
loved.
yeah.
They
So we
were
felt bad.
very upset
People-
when we cut it down.
Yes.
But it was such a safety hazard. It was totally hollowed out and it had
There was a letter
branches.
to the editor. I remember.
Oh, gosh.
There will be. People
We
don't like trees
really
being cut down.
inspire some like commentary
It's
in
not
the
just
town.
you. Do not take it personal.
Okay.
This day and age, people have opinions, and everybody believes that their opinion counts.
But it's the store has become part of Cheshire. I mean, like at the opening of the show, I talked about how people have made your shop part of their road trip. That's amazing. When I've driven cross country a lot, and every time I do, I do like Road Trip America. So I'll go to try to find like the dinosaur or the weird, the oddity or the best
giant
thing.
ball of yarn. Yeah.
You guys are now part of that thing. Like
a destination.
Like that's, to me, something like that is more amazing than being Apple or Microsoft or something. When you become part of like,
it does feel good.
Like a family of adventure. I mean, my kids still talk about, going to Busch Gardens when we drove from here to Texas. They talk about like the weird places we stopped, like the safari in the middle of Virginia. You guys are part of those stories now. Like that's incredible. And when you can create something that, just becomes part of a family story. I mean, that's really.
Well, it's nice to see the people that come back now in their late 30s, early 40s with their kids.
Yeah.
And they still order Smurf ice cream because it's what they had when they were kids. And they can't find it anywhere else. But they said they would never even order anything that was blue anywhere else. But for some reason, when they come home in Cheshire, it is what they crave.
Do kids these days know Smurfs?
That's the other thing. It was really nice when the movie came out again.
Because it reintroduced it.
Right. Because we were like, oh no, we're going to be in trouble. We have
had a few small kids ask, is Papa Smurf in there?
Well, because the marshmallows are supposed to be the hats. So if you think about it a little too hard, it gets a little gruesome. Yeah. Uh-huh. But
I think that's the flavor I guess at the time 8-year-old had was the Smurf. Because for him, blue is like sugar. Right. Like any food that's colored blue it's got to be good. So he got the Smurf. And then he was blue around his mouth. It was
a lot of parents' faces drop when they're like, my kid wants the blue one. Is it cotton candy? No, it's actually blue raspberry. Like, that is great.
Right.
It's actually like a fruit flavor. It's not just like bubble gum or,
cotton candy.
And then they try it and they're like, wow, this is actually very good.
I didn't try it. I just assumed it was.
Gotta try
it. I assumed it was like a cotton candy flavor.
No. We have all the surprises.
We actually took a run at bubblegum. This was before Steph and I took over, right before.
With little bubblegum pieces in it?
Yes, and it was a
disaster.
Well, imagine biting into a frozen piece of gum.
It hurt.
It wasn't a good look for us. So
it was is that my tooth or is that the ice cream?
Right. So we've had a lot of misses, but we've definitely had a lot of hits.
Yes. So that's my next.
But you don't get to hits without making the mistake.
You have to try everything.
How do you do it though? Like, what's your process? What's your flavor process?
Just like Led Zeppelin.
One of our favorite ones is the stories with Nutella Crunch.
Oh, Nutella. Well, favorite or,
Well, a good one. Yes. That ended really well for us.
Well, that was about my sister's wedding. That's right. So that was when salted caramel was all the rage, if you remember.
Flavors do go through pop phases.
They very much do. Yeah.
Trends, flavor trends.
Yes.
Okay, so this was
so this was during salted caramel's heyday. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so for my sister's wedding,
back in 2018.
Yes. I'm trying to think about when she got married. I hope she doesn't listen to this. She's not gonna know.
She was 2006.
I hope she
15,
does.
Wasn't she?
I don't even remember when I was married.
Or was it 2014? No, it was.
Okay. Let's say I came up with a definitive date.
I'm like,
anyways,
ladies, go ahead.
We made the salted
You'll find
caramel.
Out when you go home, and then I'll edit it in.
No, he won't. He's going to leave it blank.
Perfect.
You can call it in
2007.
Be like, yeah, I think it was
he'll have Murphy say it. Like,
yeah. That's our next president.
President Murphy.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
So anyways, long story longer. We made it for my sister's wedding. It was such a hit. Everybody loved it, but it was a smooth base, so there was nothing in it.
I have no idea what that means.
It was just like a vanilla is with no inclusions, no like chips or swirls or anything like that. Yeah, nothing in it. So it was just a salted caramel base, and it was so good, and we wanted to sell it at the store, but it wasn't popular enough, like alone. Then we added the fudge swirl and the chocolate covered pretzels.
I was going to say,
Right,
it
but-
needs pretzels.
We went from Nutella to salty pretzel. You realize
Oh,
that, right?
I just realized.
I wasn't going to stop you because I was like, no. Nutella
wait.
came in 2015.
That's right.
Salty
I'm sorry.
pretzel came
Salty
about.
pretzel came
That was
about
the
that
other
way.
one that started. I was like,
That's
you
right.
just-
But that's the
So
process
then-
you guys go through to get to flavors.
Right.
You-
So the Nutella was the same thing. Nutella craze. I made that as a flavor of the week.
we were
one time.
opening it.
That's right. You handle this.
Yes.
Since I'm just all over the place.
Well, there's salty caramel. That's
That's
how
how
salty pretzel
came out. Yeah.
And then Nutella came out because we were going to open for the season,
Mm-hmm.
and we sometimes try to do a new flavor to see what interest will draw.
Right.
And so we were like, okay, this Nutella spread, everyone's loving it. I had it a lot when I was in Australia in college, and I could not stop eating it.
We're still looking for the pictures of that.
a
they
Sorry.
don't
hazelnut
exist.
spread.
It's the chocolate hazelnut spread.
It has a palm oil thing, though, going on with it, as most foods I'm
Oh,
sure you
that's-
come across,
Which
too.
makes it very difficult.
And like the blue
to-
dye and the Smurf, there's a lot
Right.
of stuff. But that's just stuff you have to keep abreast of that stuff.
exactly.
Well,
Yeah, you're purveyors.
What about vegan options?
Oh boy, that's the wave of the future.
Mhm.
If you really ask.
Plant-based.
So that's
I mean, it's a huge thing now. I mean, you
You
know,
just do
we're talking about
you soy
trends
milk.
and
yeah, that's the new trend is the non-dairy trends. People are really looking towards that. And
Yeah.
honestly, as business owners, it's been very difficult to procure the high quality dairy that we use because we use 16% cream, which is the highest fat ratio cream that you can get. And
That's what makes it like the mouth
That's
feel. and the-
exactly
Creamy,
right.
It's not like
So,
that frozen.
Mhm.
like when
Right,
we
right.
say
There's no air in it.
Yep.
right, when we say we use the best ingredients, like I really go out of our way to use that kind
It
of
sets
stuff.
you apart.
Yeah, so it's very difficult to get that cream, especially because dairy farmers are going through their own issues in the times, and then there's a whole other host of problems getting the cream. But so that really is the wave of the future, even though it's my favorite type of ice cream. But people more and more have been looking for vegan options and non-dairy options. So that's why we started with the soy base a long time ago. Before I took over, we were making tofutti. We've been
Explain
making
the tofutti. It's just made with soy milk.
yeah, it's a soy-based ice cream. Tofutti is a brand, actually. They make a
Okay.
soft serve mix.
Okay.
So I kind of take that and turn it into what we use for the hard ice cream. It's got a certain flavor to it. You can definitely taste the soy in it, which is sometimes if you try to fight it, it doesn't come out good. But if you work with it, it can be pretty tasty. And
It's like it sounds savory.
it's always a good consistency. I will say that. I never have any trouble with it. And it holds flavor very well. Nothing ever can get hidden in it. But it's not as much fun to work with as something like almond milk, which we branched into last year. And
That's plant-based, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, almonds. So
Okay.
That one's been a really
almonds
popular
are
one.
plant-based.
I didn't know if it was an added to something. I'm not into the
No,
whole
right.
plant-based.
So you're
food
right.
craze.
Almond
I drink
extract is like-
cow's milk and I eat beef.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's our main customer base. But almond milk is another good option, and we're working on getting into the coconut milk as well. That's a
Okay.
really popular one, but that's another difficult thing to source out because we're pretty hardcore about vetting our sources. So we're still trying to work on a good way to get that consistently. The almond milk is definitely going to be something that sticks around. It's been very popular, so we'll continue offering that.
How does that taste in reference to?
It tastes great. It's like a nutty,
I prefer
bright.
that one over the soy base.
So far, I've only really done toasted almond with it, which is an almond base.
Almost
With
lends itself to
coconut.
that.
Yes.
Right. So it just very smoothly right in with a little coconut, but there's definitely a lot more options.
So if you do like a plant-based base flavor, you have to be even careful with what you put in it. So you can't put a chocolate in it if the chocolate has dairy.
Exactly.
But they have dairy-free chocolates?
They do, but they're very difficult to come by.
Okay.
And everything that you everything that you look at, it possibly has, like, even if it doesn't have it included, it's made in a facility with that item. So we also are a facility that uses nuts and dairy.
You
and
have it as a
everything else.
topping. You have it in some of your
It's right.
products.
Yeah, it's right next to everything. So we're
Goes with ice cream.
Right. We're not nut free. We're not dairy free because I don't have a separate kitchen for that. So everything that we have comes with the caveat. That we are
There's an asterisk next to it.
right.
Yes.
So even your dairy-free options are possibly
Right. I have to say that legally, but
Right.
Well, you're using the same
Every-
spoons to scoop it.
no. So we use separate
No.
scoops.
They're in different freezers
right.
even?
Yes.
They're in separate freezers.
Wow.
When I make the non-dairy ice cream, I I clean the machine every day. I use a batch freezing machine, and I take it apart piece by piece every day. And
we had to do that at
out.
Carvel too.
So there you go. So
every night.
So you do take it seriously.
Oh, unbelievably!
Okay.
It's like because the consequences are dire.
Because that's for somebody who's allergic, not
Right.
necessarily life choice.
Oh no,
but
it's
somebody
the majority
who
that are. It's the allergies are huge.
Okay.
I mean,
okay.
this even last night it happened. Now I've only been eating plant-based for 2 months, and I've gotten the hang of it. But I ordered something last night at the restaurant that was vegetarian, and she brought it to the table after we had talked about no cheese on it. She said, "Oh, do you have a dairy allergy?" I said, "No, I just
We're not eating
no
dairy."
And then right on the top,
Chunk of cheese.
sour cream,
Which I got,
boy.
so I won. Winner.
and
There's always someone who
I
wins
dipped my
there.
fried pickles in the sour cream. It was so good.
Oh boy!
but people don't.
Yeah, it's a hard market to cater to because there's a lot of like, oh, I'm allergic to almonds, but I'm not allergic to peanuts. I'm allergic to dairy, but I'm not allergic to chocolate. So it's like you really try and hit everybody. We keep a non-dairy flavor that has no chocolate in it, a non-dairy that has chocolate in it, a non-dairy that has nuts.
How much of the market is looking for that?
More and more every year. It was funny when you said people kind of travel and put us on a road trip. People will travel across the state just to get non-dairy stuff to stock up and leave.
Oh yeah.
Like they'll say, "Oh, I came from Seymour. Oh, I came from so and so," and they
Homemade non-dairy ice cream.
that's what they want. It's just and so that's
Because you think there's hardly any chemicals. You're not adding preservatives. You're
Right.
not adding chemicals. So
Right.
there's that aspect. It also hits their lifestyle choices, so they can still have their indulgences, but not have to compromise on decisions that they've made.
right.
Yep.
Or they physically cannot eat the ingredients and the other things. And ice cream's so fun.
Jen and
Right.
I have made purely banana-based ice cream.
Right. You use the banana as the
And-
texture.
and it's awesome. I haven't had regular ice cream for, I don't know, do the math.
As a
January
thing
2nd.
I was going to say
no.
2 months.
Yeah.
it must feel like forever because
It's 2 months and 2 days,
Okay,
actually.
all right, just catching up.
3 hours and 4 minutes.
Yeah.
16
Not
minutes.
that no one's counting, but
Yeah.
I get these little, they make these little banana slices. They freeze them and they cover them in chocolate and package them.
Mhm.
So instead of eating the pint of, Ben and Jerry's or whatever it is, whatever ice cream
Sweet
has
Claude's,
to be. Sweet Claude's. I haven't bought a pint of Sweet Claude's, but now I'm going to have to.
okay,
I have some in the freezer for you.
right.
I have some in the freezer for you.
You guys are so generous to each other.
All right.
How is
Now to get rid of the.
Do you have a freezer here?
Yes, I do. The one with the ice cream in it. It's mine.
Steph's loving
Read this fine print on the contract.
It's nice that other people
Used.
talk to each other like we.
I
talk
know.
to
I was
each
just
other.
like,
It's
just really
perfect.
enjoying
like
this.
it's okay.
We're abusive.
Well,
So anytime
we
I'm
met on the show.
I actually
Stop,
did
are you
look that up.
kidding?
Yeah, I looked up your guys' history.
That's
how
you
looked
met.
we
us
have a
up.
history.
Yeah.
The,
You're
the
famous.
first episode is us, like our entire
my
relationship as
interview.
friends has been on the
Wow.
podcast. So we still go out and find out things about each other, and then
I'm
sometimes
like, I knew there's a reason why I didn't like you.
yeah,
Like,
I
I'm
never
definitely
tr-
going to bring
I
that up
never
on the next
trust
episode.
my instincts, and look what happens.
yeah.
Now you're now you're co-host.
See?
Now we're stuck with each other. I'm like,
So these little banana things
could have made worse decisions.
really
Right, I
they
think you guys are
cure
doing all
that.
right.
They cure that need. Like there's sometimes you just need ice cream, and you can't always indulge in that because I'm in my mid 40s and it's just it would not sit well. But I can take this frozen banana with chocolate in it and eat it. And sometimes I chop them up and put them in my Cherry Garcia. So it's kind of like a diety thing, but it's
You're eating
delicious.
that garbage Cherry Garcia stuff.
Do you guys have a flavor like
Ugh,
that?
Thank you so much.
That corporate.
I think I have a new
Crap.
favorite host.
Cherry Garcia with chopped up frozen banana.
Wait, can we go back to you're in your mid 40s? When was the last time you were carded? Was it like yesterday?
I actually have a birthday in 2 weeks and I turned 45.
No.
Yeah,
Seriously?
it's really a biggie.
That's impossible. Do you have a picture posted up somewhere? Please
She-
divert
she-
the listeners to the picture at this time.
She is the age she says she is.
I don't believe it. Let's get a license
Listen.
out here.
Oh, go on.
The first episode, I was
Stop.
convinced the entire time,
He's talking down to me like
I
I
was-
was like
I was
25,
older.
and I'm like,
and then she busted out. And
I'm
I
like, why
found
do you
out she's.
keep assuming that
like-
I'm such a baby? I've earned my
She's 2 months older than I
stripes.
am.
Holy smokes.
Yep, he's my younger sibling. You see
Oh,
how
but
this
there's
works
no,
out?
there's no. Oh, you look young too, Corey. No, none of that.
I don't want to placate you. We know whose ego we got to feed here.
I was well.
Corey, you
mine.
look so young. How do you keep your
I was-
skin so healthy?
I was
looking?
fishing, and I got
Always.
totally rejected.
You need a different lure, baby.
totally fishing. Kelly's like, yeah, I'm not doing it.
No, you look old. You
She's
look
like,
old.
yeah, I could see it. You're 45.
You're like 53.
Yeah.
Looks it.
That's all right. She tells the kids that work for us that I'm already 40.
There's nothing wrong
They
with that.
believe it.
And-
I just want to say that.
They don't know any better. If you ask my son, he probably would say I'm 75.
Oh, they
don't
can't
know.
tell ages
They don't.
at
They
all.
don't care.
They have
but don't
no
mess
idea.
up their age.
Oh, no.
Don't mess up their
They're
age.
16 and a half.
I'm
okay?
gonna be 18 in like 13 minutes. Like they will tell you, don't mess it up.
My wife always, when people find out that we've talked about it. She just turned 40. They find out, they're like, really? And then she's like, yeah, I have a 17-year-old. They're like,
Really? Last night we
What?
got tagged up for that. Mm-hmm.
and sometimes I swear to God, I've seen people do it. Like they don't even know her age, and they're like, they find out she has a 17-year-old daughter. And
They're
then
like-
they look at me,
They're like trying to do the math.
and then they look at her, and they look at me, and then the look gets like
All judgy. Like,
And I'm like-
it's 2020. What's up with the judginess?
Why do they care?
They do. Oh, come on.
really?
I know, right?
I mean,
I might give you that look if you told me you had a 17-year-old. I might give you a second glance.
you might give
Well,
me
just
that.
to try to do the
I would just be
math?
like, "Are you sure you have a
But
17-year-old?"
you
Oh,
haven't met my wife.
Say thank
Oh,
you.
now you're
Say thank
complimenting
you.
me.
Saying you look
Okay.
young.
I couldn't
It
give
doesn't
it to you right
work
away.
now.
No, it
because
still worked.
I had to
Listen
wait.
it.
I
No,
was-
look
I
at
was-
his face. It worked. It
I was
worked.
I was begging for it before.
It totally worked.
No, I totally look like I can have a 17-year-old. My wife, no, not so much.
Well, that's a double compliment to yourself. So really,
He robbed the cradle,
yeah.
and she looks young
You have a beautiful wife, is what she's saying.
in
Well,
a beautiful
that
house,
is-
and it's
that's-
yours.
That
both
is
of them.
true.
Okay.
That is absolutely true.
Are you listening? He said it's true.
She doesn't listen to the podcast.
She doesn't listen to the show.
Neither does my husband. I have to sit down. I'm like, you have to listen to this part. Just 5 minutes.
I
It's
will
just a-
put the podcast on when we're in the car. Like if I have her hostage,
Right, I was just gonna say, wait
And
till
then
she's in the shower and like just
I
put
turn
the
it up all the
boombox
way.
in there.
My husband will throw me shade. He'll be like,
and I force.
you know, every time I listen to the car, this is a total aside. Anytime I listen to this podcast in the car with the kids, it's always something that I don't want them to hear. Like the first time my 10-year-old ever listened to the episode, like the third line in was like, come on, Santa's not real. And I was just like,
Oh, man.
You were like,
always.
rewind.
I was like, we're
Do
just
me a
kidding.
favor. Don't bang on the table again. Yeah, no, don't do that.
How's that sound? It's good?
It's not good.
You can cut it right out.
Yeah.
So, on your webpage, do you ever have like flavor contests?
That's a
That's
tough
a good way to
question.
wrap up the show, by the way.
Yeah. You know what? We take
Leave
a
it
lot
to
of
me.
suggestions. I will say we take a lot of suggestions because we're there every day.
Yeah.
So if you have
People
a
share
comment,
'em.
a question, comment, or concern, whether we're asking for it or not, we
get 'em.
We receive
What's
them.
your website?
SweetClaudsIceCream.com.
SweetClaudsIceCream.com.
Sweet Claws.
That's right.
And that's SweetClaudes.com.
No,
Ice cream.
Ice cream.
Icecream.com. Ah!
Oh, you were so almost professional.
It
You were
was-
like
it
you like
sounded really good.
tiptoed into the professional pool.
SWEET.
He's like, edit, rewind.
CLAUDES.
Ice
cream.
cream. Can you spell that?
.com. Can I spell ice cream?
Yeah.
Listen, if you can't spell ice cream, get off the internet. Like that's
There's autocorrect.
You
for
can
that.
put in anything,
Sweet
it'll
Claudes.
autocorrect it for
Sweet
you.
Claudes. I can see, somebody might use a W.
Are you guys taking card this year?
No.
Seriously.
No card.
Seriously.
No cards yet. We're still.
I like the old school. I
I
don't
don't
feel
care.
like I'm
I-
in 1974
I don't
when I go in
carry
the shop.
cash. I need to pay with my watch. Can you guys do
We
that?
also take personal check though. So if
Who-
you
I don't
carry a
know
checkbook,
cash. I don't know checks either.
Listen.
Everything's electronic.
If you want them to accept
I need
credit
it to
cards,
beep.
then you have to deal with the fact that their employees are also going to be on their phone at the same time.
I don't think so. Your employees are pretty fantastic.
I
Yeah.
will take a moment to say that we do have really good kids.
You really
We have
do.
the best
We
kids.
have really
I think
good.
that's true.
It makes a huge difference with customers coming back.
And we're not easy
does.
on them either. We're pretty tough.
That's
And
my toughest
they
job
handle it.
ever.
I was going to
with
say, you
my
guys
ice cream
seem like
job.
tough bosses.
You need to clean constantly.
Which one of us do you think would be the enforcer if you had to pick?
My bet
The one
is
with the
with
facial
Stephanie.
jewelry. Is it?
No, it's
the one.
They
without
always
the
say
facial
that they're
jewelry.
initially
the one
afraid
with
of
the
me,
face
but they
piercings
really,
is never.
You guys have to play good cop, bad cop with the
That's
teenagers.
what it is.
yeah.
So I see future episodes where I want to have you guys on to just discuss the creation process of new flavors and stuff, because there is I can tell there's a show in just you guys.
They're really
Every
every
day
day
is
is
the
a
naming
show.
game. We have
Yeah.
We're gonna have to
The
think of like a
rhyme game.
soundtrack. That'll be fun.
So I'm proposing right now. I would love to produce the Sweet Claude's podcast.
Let's go
Yeah.
on site and videotape the process.
I don't know. I have the whole thing.
We're ready for it.
I'm
Do we get to eat the ice cream?
The first
Always.
the first show as part of the Cheshire Cast network is the Sweet Claude's podcast, because there is a show
go.
here.
And you're just gonna discuss flavors?
Well, I will
No,
say
I'm just gonna turn the microphones on and say, "Okay, go
No,
for it," and
you
I'm
have
gonna
to-
leave the room.
No,
You
you
have
do
to
have
like
a beep
start
button.
something.
I was gonna say we should do a one of our
The help button.
our naming sessions when we name a new flavor.
Oh, I was going to
'Cause
say
you
we
always
should
say
talk
there's-
about when I make you taste the flavors that I make.
Don't you? Nope.
Are some of them
Yeah.
like awful?
All that stuff we're
No,
doing.
Do you know what's awful? This is a very short story. We had a wonderful customer who brought up some great Bohemian
Jamaican
rum.
Overproof.
And she loved our
Rum
Rum
raisin.
rum raisin. So we said we'd
raisin.
make it if she brought us her rum. So
Okay.
she did.
Because I don't make that flavor. I usually make that flavor in the winter. But these particular customers lived down in New Haven. They loved to swing by and come down. And they said, I wish you had rum raisin more often. I
They
said,
brought you an ingredient. You made them their own ice cream.
I will occasionally do that. So just to throw that out
That's
there.
like a
Really?
thing. That could be like a
One
thing.
of our workers last year brought her grandmother's cookies in, so we made an ice cream with it.
That's right. Yes. So, but anyways, this customer brought in Jamaican rum, and it was straight out of like their relatives, like not smuggled it, but like brought it back from Jamaica. And
Wow.
it was a extremely strong rum. I myself have never had anything like it
It
before.
like burnt your nose.
It burnt every part of my body,
No,
and I
it
didn't even
because
have
you
a full shot.
You were ready for it.
Right.
I was minding
prepared.
my own financial business up in the office and doing work for Sweet Claude.
She does the real
Kelly
work.
came up with
Taste this.
face of, oh, you gotta try this flavor. I was like, oh, something went bad.
And usually when I hand her a flavor, I hand it in a Dixie cup, so it all looks the same when I hand it.
And
to
you
her.
trust your business partner.
Yeah, it's
Sometimes.
scientific.
Right.
Right. So
Yeah.
I just took it from her and I was like, I think she really needs help. And I just
She
swigged it.
slammed the
Swigged it.
rum back.
It was not a Dixie cup of the ice cream you made.
No, she
it was
gave me a Dixie
taste
cup.
this ingredient. It was a Dixie
No,
cup
she
of
tried to
straight
say,
up.
I need you to taste this. So she didn't even say it was ice cream. She didn't say it was the rum.
Well, you learned a lesson.
So I did. I
did learn a lesson.
have never felt this feeling in
Your
my
face went
eyes,
numb?
in my nose, in my throat, in my ear.
You're
It
like,
was. I
That was
Almost
exactly what she did.
stood up and
I'm on
killed her.
fire.
So
But she was smart enough to have one of our employees behind her.
Okay.
So I had to,
You had to hold yourself together.
kind of.
We
I
gave
didn't-
her a Gatorade after for a
Come
chaser.
on.
It was.
It only took you 3 weeks to recover. You were
I
fine.
was tasting that all day.
I'm going on record. I'm producing the Sweet Claude's podcast. That, hands down, I'm doing it.
I'm not sure you're ready for the shenanigans.
You have no idea what I'm ready.
Okay.
Don't challenge
That's a
him.
good attitude.
It's late on a Wednesday.
You want to challenge me? We could turn it off.
He's going to make you arm wrestle. It's so embarrassing.
No, I don't arm wrestle.
I know. I was joking.
So listen, guys, it's been awesome having you in.
Yeah, thanks so
Thank you
much
for having
us.
us.
You guys go in the top 5 of my favorite guests.
Great.
I want to have you guys back.
We'd love to.
I'm dead serious. I want to produce the Sweet Claude's podcast. I think you
Are
guys
you going
would
to
be
call it
awesome.
Murder at Sweet Claude's?
You know
That'd be
what?
great.
Yeah, that
Yes.
sounds really good for business.
That's exactly what we're calling it.
It's awesome.
We're children friendly. Murder at Sweet Claude's. Enjoy our podcast.
We murder some ice cream.
I'm just going to give them a random subject when they come in and be like, yeah, we're not talking about
Work
ice cream.
this
We're
out,
talking
guys.
about this. Work this out. You
boy.
have
Oh,
45
geez.
minutes.
No bad ideas.
That's
And
every day.
it.
We work
Well,
stuff
I
out.
can tell.
And you
Yeah.
bring your pets. Bring your dog.
I already
That'd be
s-
lovely.
I have the whole thing. I'm ready to go. They're going to have a better show than we do.
Impossible, Corey.
It's
I agree.
totally possible.
Impossible.
Totally possible.
Well, thank you so much for having us. It was really fun to be here.
Thanks for coming in, and I can't wait to try your ice cream and blabber all about it on the next show.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
What
yes.
flavors did you bring?
I brought you, because you can have dairy, I brought
Yeah,
you
yeah.
some cookie dough.
Yeah.
I brought you a light chocolate.
Yeah.
and Mississippi Mud, I believe. So that's a coffee flavor.
Oh my God.
You got 3 flavors.
Right.
You're going to have to leave some of the cookies and cream for the kids.
Oh, my son loves cookies and cream. And the other one, I'm going to have to fight off the chocolate. What did you bring? What was your dairy-free option for this guy?
So I brought some soy bases for you. The vanilla with raspberry swirl. I wasn't sure if you had any allergies. So that's like the least allergy one that we possibly have.
I have no allergies.
Okay,
It's
so
life
that's
choice.
okay. And
Like,
then
you could give me penicillin flavor and I'm good.
Okay, we
As long as
we
it's-
don't make that one yet.
Plant-based.
Right.
Got it.
But,
It is
and then,
no, it's not. That's mold. Mold is in plants. Okay. Sorry.
yeah, and then coffee fudge crumble is one of our more popular ones. It's like a coffee with crunch and a fudge swirl.
Coffee. Wow.
Does the fudge
crumble.
have dairy in it?
Nope.
I actually make the fudge separately from the ones we use, so it has no dairy.
Stop banging on the table, Trisha.
Can't take it.
Thanks for coming in.
Yes.
Thank you for having us.
You guys are going to be a recurring guest. Hands down.
Our next opening is June.
Everybody,
Yeah.
everybody
I know
say,
you guys are booked
I know,
up, huh?
I know.
Very popular.
And I have 15 people
All right,
waiting on the...
1, 2, 3, bye. Bye.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Let's get out of here! Like now!
Okay, so I'll see you later, huh? I'll give you a call.
Okay, see you later, pal.
Amigos, time to depart.